Step in the ring, feel the adrenaline rush, throwing fists and kicks, the pain we can't hush, and then they find us, we're the real tough guys, breaking down barriers, we aim for the skies, into the octagon, like a warrior I stand, slaying blows, taking hits as I command, the art of combat, I'm ready to go, submission, knockout, that's how I flow, unleashing the fury like an untamed beast, locked in a cage where strength is released, striking precision, grappling with might, the golden octagon, the stage we ignite. Unleashing the fury like an untamed beast, locked in a cage where strength is released, striking precision, grappling with might, the golden octagon, the stage we ignite.
And we are live from the Golden Octagon Studios in Norfolk, Virginia. This is the Golden Octagon MMA Podcast with your hosts, Matt and D. Rose.
And what's going on, y'all? Welcome to the Golden Octagon MMA Podcast. My name is Matt, as it says right down there, and D Rose is on this side of your screen, as it says right there, in case you didn't know. We appreciate you guys for stopping by here, hanging out with us here tonight to talk some UFC fights. We're going to go over specifically, let me click these things on the screen, this past weekend's UFC 305. I'm going to give you our recap. We're going to talk about how we did betting-wise and such. And then I will unfortunately be eating the beans this week because being boozled because I lost the pick champ, as you see. No gold strap over here and a shiny gold strap over D Rose's shoulder. And then after that, I will talk with a terrible taste in my mouth for the UFC fight news and announcements this week. And then lastly, we've got a card to talk about. I'm going to leave it at that. There's some UFC fights this weekend. There's some UFC fights this weekend. Me and D-Rose are going to give you our preview and our picks for this weekend's UFC Vegas 96 or Ultimate Fighter finale, tough finale. What is it, 27, 28? I don't know. Yeah, this is the finale of that as well. They're not promoting that even in the slightest, but you know, D Rose doesn't watch it, but I watch it. I'll give you my thoughts on who I think is going to win and such, as well as the rest of the card. And then lastly, try to give you a podcast play of the week. It depends if me and D Rose agree on this one fighter this week. We'll see. But with that being said, D Rose, let's shout out the chat real quick, and I'll ask you how you've been and such. So up first in here, we got Lush Lomain. What's going on, Lush? Appreciate you stopping by tonight, brother. Glad you're able to make it. Another Golden Wednesdays with the boys. I got to run. I'll try to make it back in time. Well, we appreciate you were here for a second, Lush. We appreciate it, brother. I'll let them know who we were waiting on, the important one. I can't do the show by myself. I got to have D Rose here. We got Sugar Ray saying Fade Morales and the nail polish. Interesting. Dave Fish for Days. Ooh, I thought I was late. I got stuck on Google looking at it. Jesus Christ, Dave. We got Daniel with the LFG. We got Antoine Willis. What's up, boys? Hope y'all are having a blessed evening. I am having okay evening, Antoine. Appreciate you stopping by. D-Rose, how are you doing tonight, my guy?
Yeah, no, everything's great. Just right before the podcast, as I was telling you, everything that started kind of melting down, like my Chromebook wasn't charged all the way, so it wasn't connecting properly. My headset wasn't getting connected, but hey, other than that, yeah, we're doing just great, man. Coming off a great weekend of fights. Hey, I really enjoyed the card, and I really enjoyed the live stream that we did the other day as well. I don't know if we're looking at making that a regular thing, but become kind of a thing that I kind of look forward to when some of these fight cards happen. Man, it's I think the live streams have turned into a lot of fun.
Possibly, D-Rose. I think they're fun. I think they're fun. And then, how do you guys feel about the prospects on this past Contender Series? This past one, I don't think was too great, to be honest.
It was a rough
The
episode.
guy, yeah,
It was Cody Head, the first one.
yeah,
The
that one was a
Australian
good
dude.
fight, and then I think the last one was a good fight. But I mean, the dudes, a lot of the dudes were kind of old and like, I wasn't expecting too much out of them to begin with. So this past episode, I wasn't the biggest fan of, but last week was pretty
The
good.
first episode was fire.
Yeah,
And there was a bunch of good performances on the first episode. Like the one yesterday, Torres Finney, he comes back from having a terrible performance on the last, even though he got the finish, but just a sloppy fight and showed that he was a little bit green. And then he comes in this fight and then he performs, you can argue, even worse in this time, even though he got the win. And, at the end of the day, that is the goal for him, as far as staying undefeated. But yeah, it still never ended up getting the job done for him because his performance lacked more energy in this one than it did in the last time. So yeah, this Contender Series was a little bit slower for sure.
I agree. We got Dave with the Robert Valentine by first round KO. I agree. Or something like that. Contender has been kind of ass past 2 weeks. It was all right the first week. Pretty much got all smoked by anyone ranked. Yeah. All right. So, D-Rose, with that being said, well, let's see. Here we go. Before you guys start, how do you guys feel about 30 to 35-year-old prospects? I think Glover changed everyone's mindset at UFC 267 when he became champ. I think it's hard. It would be hard. It's not the easiest to get signed to the UFC at that age. If you're already in the UFC, I would say if past 32 seems to be that age, like 32, good luck getting into the UFC. You have to be like eye-opening, like as he always says, making you notice him, as is Dana White. So tough when you're that age, but definitely possible. Just not as easy if you were to be, a year younger at 29.
Yeah. Well, that and if you think about it too, like a lot of the heavier weight classes, like heavyweight, light heavyweight, those, the 35s and so odd year old guys, they can compete a little bit more because they tend to age a little bit more gracefully in those divisions. But if we're talking about divisions like lightweight and featherweight, bantamweight, all those weight classes, like, dude, if you're very green in the sport and you're trying to get into the UFC in those divisions and you're 33, 34 years old, dude, those divisions, especially lightweight and bantamweight, are absolute shark tanks. So yeah, if you're coming in at that point and you're clearly not ready, it just makes it hard for them to ever be considered true contenders. Could they make the UFC? Sure. But in terms of leveling up to that championship level, it's just hard for those guys to really reach that level when they're so late in their MMA life.
I agree. And Dave, I agree with you, man. But he doesn't look like he belongs at 145, to be honest. He just looks like he should probably fight at 135, but he could only make weight multiple times in a row fighting up at 145 on Tough. And D-Rose, I'm not sure if it's just me. Is your mic hooked up, or are you on your headphones? Because you sound a little raspy.
I might have to check this. I did jump in here very quickly without fixing this. You are correct. Does that sound
you sound way better, 1,000 times better. So with that being said,
Mike. So there we go.
Yeah. So with that being said, D-Rose, how have you been over the past week, my guy? Let me hear it. How'd you do betting wise and such? And how have you been doing in your overall life in the past week, or since we were here? Well, actually, since this past Saturday for the most part.
Yeah. No, betting wise was absolute trash. Like I said, Dan Hooker was really the only recovery that I had from the night because everything, like I said, Coolabell, Lana Santos, I bet pretty decent on Taito Ivasa. I had a couple of them, Steve Erceg and Kai Car France to start round 3. I mean, you kind of get where I'm going with this. Like, yeah, I had a bunch of them that, you know, I was pretty confident in, and they all ended up busting except for Dan Hooker. So, yeah, it was a pretty rough weekend for me as far as betting. And, you know, everything in life has been, it's been great, man. You know, just same stuff, you know, just working and, you know, just obviously, you know, watching the fights, keeping up with everything. And, but no, yeah, betting this weekend. Yeah, I don't even want to talk about it anymore. I'm starting to get salty thinking about it.
Yeah, I was right in a few places, and then we got absolutely robbed. But we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. So, with that being said, let's talk about this past weekend's card. So, this past weekend, D Rose in the main event. What am I clicking? I'm already on StreamYard. Yeah, that doesn't make sense. So, this past weekend, main event. We'll just talk about the card as a whole for the most part. So main event, Dricus versus Izzy, dude. Yeah, I thought Izzy was winning that fight. I thought Izzy was looking fantastic, and then yeah, Izzy, I guess tripped because we watched his little I guess post fight recap, and then I guess just wasn't really in the right headspace. Dricus rushed him, took him down, took his back, choked him out, or not out, but, you know, put him in a rear naked choke. And then Dricus wins round 4 submission. And then after we get this, I feel like that, you know, I'm just gonna leave it at that. What an odd photo. I'm just gonna say that. I'm upset that Izzy didn't win, dude. I know Izzy can win that fight. Man, I just, you know, this meme sums up that entire fight, dude. Israel Adesanya dedicates entire life mastering the art of kickboxing. Dricus du Plessis, and it's like him just flying through the air, just not making any sense. And that's basically just how that fight went. Shout out UFC memory for that, man. And yeah, I'm just, dude. I don't know. I don't even know where we go from here, but you know, Izzy's still one of my favorite fighters, still a great fighter, still fantastic. But man, if Dricus is calling out Alex, dude, please let that fight happen. I just want to see Dricus get knocked out at this point, dude. He does not deserve to be UFC champion. Yeah. Anyway, co-main event, the one that kind of lost us all any bets that we had on this fight, because I didn't see many people going Kai Car France, but look what he did to the one and only Steve Carell, Michael Scott, Steve Erceg in there, just snoozing him, man. And if there was any doubt about, you know, these new UFC gloves, like what's up with the knockouts, you know, do these gloves suck? Dude, this fight card kind of proved that, you know, these gloves are all right. They're fine. There were plenty of knockouts. People just needed to start throwing. I guess that's what it was. So Kai Car France, round 1 knockout over Steve Erceg. Says 4 minutes and 4 seconds, but so was it a minute into the fight or was it 4 minutes in the fight? I don't even know. Yeah, but yeah, and then the feature fight of the night, in my opinion, we had this absolute psychopath, dude. Just kind of got his ass beaten round 1, not gonna lie, but man, it's almost like Gamrot was feeding into the Dan Hooker's fight. And it's like, if you're going to give Dan Hooker the fight that he wants, good luck, dude. He's going to beat the shit out of you. And that's exactly what happened. And yeah, on Change of Cheddar Friday, I did pick flip. So it sucks that I have to eat the beans because of this fight. But, you know, I said, you know, I'll just continue on with the podcast. But I was for sure rooting for Dan Hooker in that fight, dude. And then I don't have pictures of Tai Tuivasa, Jairzinho Rozenstruik, dude. That's just one where, you know, we were both rooting for Tai. We were going for him, but that's just one, dude, where it's like, dude, Tai is a brawler and Jairzinho Rozenstruik is a technical kickboxer, and just Tai didn't have the skills to beat Jairzinho Rozenstruik. It just, if you're not willing to brawl with Tai Tuivasa and you're a good kickboxer, he's probably going to beat you. That's just what it is at this point. And then the first fight on the main card, felt bad for him, but man, Carlos Prates absolutely cruising the Li Jingliang. And dude, during that fight, dude, I was you can go back doing like the recap, and I'm just like, Leach, put your hands up. And he's like, he would not. He was just, dude, I don't know if there was a left hand that Carlos Prates threw that didn't land on Leach's face, dude. It's just like he ate every left punch possible. And then right after, I don't know who it was like that said it, but they're like, the Leech has never been knocked out, and then just gets absolutely flatlined, dude. It was kind of rough seeing the Leech lose like that. But yeah, what are your takeaways from the main card this past weekend, man? And then we'll move on down to the prelims and all that.
Yeah, no, main card was really fun. Drinkers and Izzy, obviously, really fun fight. I mean, honestly, I thought that fight turned out a lot better than what a lot of people
30-27 from top.
Yeah. Yeah, my man Howie cooked up a special.
Howie Booth, yeah.
Cooked up that pink slip special and got his ass up out of there early. But no, that main event was, I mean, honestly, it was a really good fight, in my opinion. I mean, just back and forth, a lot of momentum. And Drinkus, man, I heard him after the fight, and I was actually going to get to that point.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I was gonna get to that point when we get to the Dan Hooker thing. But no, I think for Drinkus, I heard him in the post-fight press conference, and he said that, kind of his plan was to let the first about 2.5 minutes of the round kind of go and keep himself at a pace, and that
and then hug him and kiss him when it was done.
Yeah. waiting on it, waiting on the prowl. But no, just to put that pressure on there at the end of the round, and dude, you can kind of see it in each of those rounds, and the judges actually had Drinkus up 2 rounds of 1. 2 of the judges had Drinkus up at that point. I thought Izzy was winning 2 rounds of 1, as one of the judges did as well. But a really close fight, really fun fight. What's next for Drinkus? I'd like to see maybe the winner of Hamza versus Robert Whitaker get the chance, but seems like they're probably going to end up doing Strickland. So me personally, I'd like to see Robert Whitaker and Hamza, just because I feel like if Robert Whitaker gets the win, he's kind of put in the long work to work his way back, and Hamza, kind of that fresh new face. And I'm not going to lie, I said it Saturday, and I actually wouldn't mind saying it again, that I wouldn't mind seeing Drinkus just absolutely smash Hamza's face in with his quirky style, because I think Drinkus is a very bad matchup for Hamza, so I'd like to see that fight. But for the co-main event, Urseg and Kai, just real quick, but man, Kai, he really ended up finding the range there when I did not think he was going to be able to. But I almost kind of think that was a result of maybe Steve Urseg just come back a little too soon, man. I mean, he just got done in a 5-round war with Alexander Pantoja in May, and then he was in Brazil, and then having a turnaround, and he's fighting, and obviously he's from Perth and everything, but having to load back up, go back to Perth, and get ready for another training camp. I'd like to see Steve Urseg maybe take some time off. I think there's a little bit too much activity right now. Fighting a lot of the top guys, it's not easy, coming off camp to camp, fighting the top contenders and expect to continuously get wins. So I'd like to see Steve Urseg take a little bit of a reset, because we obviously see the skills that he does have. Just want to maybe see him not rush back too soon and ruin the potential. And for Dan Hooker, dude, as y'all saw, I was absolutely hyped. Could not have been more excited for the dude. I told you that he had stole that first round, because the end of the round, and the reason why is because even though Gamrot did drop Dan Hooker early in the round and everything, the judges always remember what they last see. And what they last saw in the first round was Dan Hooker dropping Gamrot and walking him down for that last minute. And that was the freshest bit of damage in the judges' minds. That was enough to sway them in that first round because I thought the last 2 rounds, I thought Gamrot clearly won the second. I thought Hooker clearly won the third. I thought that first round was really the swing round, and I thought that Dan Hooker putting that pressure on at the end, landing that big left hook, as you said, Gamrot gets dropped in every fight, but the dude gets up and fights with just this killer mentality still. So, dude, Gamrot, game fighter, and I'm a fan of Gamrot as well. So I knew this would be a tough test for Dan Hooker, but I did see obvious spots where I thought that he could definitely take advantage. And going to Antoine's question as far as Dan Hooker for a title shot, maybe not necessarily his next fight, but I mean, I could see potentially if he ends up getting a matchup with like if he ends up getting a matchup with like maybe like a Charles Oliveira or something like that, and he goes up there and beats Charles, and maybe he could work his way back up to a title shot. I mean, I know he's already fought Islam, Dan Hooker has, and he got absolutely smoked when he fought Islam the first time.
He didn't have the tattoos yet, dude. He's the mythical fighter now.
Yeah, when he's sitting in the corner going, boys, I love this shit. Like, dude, that dude is an absolute psychopath, but in the best way possible. And I do think that he's correct. I mean, the world is his, I don't want to say the world is his oyster to where he can call his own shots, but I do think that type of fight, his last couple of performances, that's BMF level type stuff, man. Like, not to say that he's going to get the max fight next, but just what he does and what he represents as a fighter, it's just what all fight fans love, man. And I think he's at the position where, he's bigger than the belt. He can get these big type fights with Conor McGregor's and those types of guys. And he can get those matchups because the fans just love him at the end of the day. And they know that he's going to deliver on the fight. So big shouts to Dan Hooker. Won him only bet of the weekend. Yeah, done leveled Hooker up, dude, for sure. Taito Ivasa, yeah, as you said, thought he was going to win, man, but super disappointing performance. And as Dave said, that dude Howie Booth with a 30-27 for Taito Ivasa, that is absolutely nuts, dude. We were going on about that like for even after the fight, like going into the main event, like we were like, man, my man Howie Booth. Cooking up that special. It's just absolutely that name will live in my mind forever now, Howie Booth, because he gave in one of the most egregious scorecards ever. Just kind of like Adelaide Bird, one of those names. Because I know she had a really bad scorecard in boxing one time, so that name kind of sticks.
Not just in boxing, dude. And
MMA. Yeah. Yeah, she's notorious for that. But yeah, Howie Booth, it will be a name that lives in me forever because of that scorecard. So absolutely hilarious. And dude, Carlos Prates, problem, dude. That dude's gonna be an absolute problem. People are saying they'd like to see MVP. I think that might be I don't want to say a quick jump up, but it's almost like why did you even sign MVP? I mean, I think there's plenty of matchups you can give Carlos Prates that aren't MVP that you could still kind of test him to see where he's at, because he's 31 years old right now. I mean, he's ready in my personal opinion, Carlos Prates is ready to move up to the top, top 15, top 20 area, and really start working his way up the division, because dude, that left hand, he is absolute money with it. And dude, defensively, he's really good as well, because there was a couple of times where Leach was getting really close to some of the big hooks and was missing. And dude, Prates, good footwork, good shoulder rolls, and good power, man. So yeah, I'm going to be really excited to watch him moving forward.
Yeah, feel bad for the Leach though. Feel bad for
100%.
For the Leach. I say Chris Liebens scores more fights. All right. So I guess prelims, we'll tackle them real quick. Walter Walker, Junior Tafa. This fight specifically broke a $2,000 parlay for me, D-Rose, from $5. I needed a Walter Walker 3 or decision, and he won by first round knee bar. So, and then Junior Tafa smacks him in the face after the fight. So, first of all, Junior Tafa's ass. And second of all, he's losing a lot. So UFC probably going to cut him because you can't hit someone after the fight's over. So it wouldn't surprise me if UFC cut Junior Tafa. But yeah, possibly. We'll see. This fight, it's going to make me sick to my stomach to even talk about it. Joshua Culibao, Ricardo Ramos, dude. Round 1, tough fight for Josh Cool. I mean, tough round for Josh Coolabau. Fair enough. He has his back taken like the entire first round, dude. Round 2, he drops Ricardo Ramos like 3 times with leg kicks. The third or fourth time, Ricardo Ramos stays on the ground. It's like midway through the round. And the rest of the round, Josh Coolabau is just standing over top of him, just trying to kick the same leg. Hey, man, make him stand up. And there's your target, dude. But instead, he goes on. Arguably, that round should have been a 10-8. Just going to throw that out there. And then round 3 was super close. One round had it Ricardo Ramos. I mean, one judge had it Ricardo Ramos. One judge had it Josh Coolabau. Went down to split decision, and it was Ricardo Ramos that, in my opinion, gets the robbery decision win. At worst, that should have been a draw, dude. Yeah. King Casey O'Neill does what I thought she was going to do and saves me from eating 3 beans this week, so that's good. King Casey O'Neill easily beat up Luana Santos. Jack Jenkins did what we all wanted him to do, just not as quick as we wanted him to do. I know D Rose really felt that one. Early prelims, Tom Nolan, Alex Reyes. Tom Nolan wins, just busts everyone's parlays because he wins by decision, and he didn't crush Alex Reyes in the first round like everyone expected him to. And we got a fight kind of like that this weekend. We'll see what happens. Song Kanon, easy win over Ricky Glenn. And, dude, Song Kanon via decision hits. And I'm kind of upset I didn't bet that just straight up because it was like plus 300, but it is what it is. And then our last one on the pick champ this week was Jesus Aguilar, Stuart Nickel. And Jesus Aguilar won in the only way that he was going to win, and that's first round guillotine submission. Congratulations, Jesus Aguilar, the chef, as we call him, just chefing up these Australians, dude. Thoughts on the prelims, and then we'll talk about me eating some beans.
Yeah, won't add too much because I know you pretty much touched on everything that kind of happened, but yeah, the Coolabau fight just absolutely killed me in terms of betting. I mean, Ramos is hiding that leg when he's laying down on the ground, and Coolabau's still trying to kick it versus just making him stand up, kick it a couple more times, and the fight's probably over at that point, But Ramos gets that failing back in the leg and gets back in the fight in the third round and ends up stealing the round for the win, man. So Coolabau can't blame anybody but himself. Tafa, that was a weak move by you, man, to absolutely just punk out because, yeah, I mean, yes, the ref is going to stop the fight when they hear you scream when you're getting your knee bent.
That's a verbal tap, my guy.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's the rule. If you scream like that, that's a verbal tap. Yes, he's going to stop the fight. That he's trained to do that. So don't act surprised when the ref does stop it, and then be pissed off about it, after the fact. So yeah, that was pretty annoying. Luana Santos burned my ass. Live, laugh, love. Damn it, man. I was riding with her a little bit, but maybe she took the fight a little bit too soon coming off of the I know she just took the Agapova fight about a month ago, turned it around pretty quickly without a real true camp and Casey O'Neill, who had been getting ready. So a good performance for Casey O'Neill to bounce back though. And Jesus Aguilar, yeah, as you said, saved me. And another underdog pick that I was upset that I didn't bet because I was actually going to bet it, but I was stuck at work, ended up getting caught up doing some paperwork and stuff and missed my bet on Jesus Aguilar when I had the chance. So he also would have cashed for me as well, but hey, it is what it is.
Damn. What about Jack Jenkins, Herbert Burns?
Yeah, also burned me because of course Herbert Burns decides to get finished in the third round and not the second. So yeah, because I ended up betting Jack Jenkins round 2 KO straight up as well, and or just round 2 finish at plus 270. So I felt pretty good about that, and that ended up falling short too. So and of course Herbert Burns gets finished just 50 seconds later. So what's the big deal? But yeah, of course I get burned on that one.
Yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is. Did you guys see Allen versus Vittori headline the PFL card? That was a stand-up. Yeah. I actually sent that to D Rose. And he was like, dude, that's real. I'm like, yeah. Like he was like, can you please move out of the way? And you just see Brendan Allen just rush in. Apparently, I think like fucking Marvin Vettori has like one arm for some reason right now, so he's like in a sling or something. So it's kind of fucked up. But yeah, that fight's going to be happening soon. Yeah.
Allen's fighting Imavov. Remember that? Yeah. Remember
yeah.
He's supposed to be fighting Nasruddin Imavov. So that's crazy that him and Vettori are even fighting. They were scheduled before, but I mean, at this point now, they need to just scrap Imavov and Allen, and they need to just make the Vettori versus Allen fight. I mean, it's just they done built it up at this point.
Indeed. So, with that being said, our 3 different fights this past weekend were Dan Hooker versus Mateusz Gamrot, where on the podcast I went Mateusz Gamrot. I did switch, but for podcast sake purposes and being eaten, I picked Mateusz Gamrot. Our second fight was King Casey O'Neill versus Luana Santos, where I went King Casey O'Neill. D Rose went Luana Santos. So thankfully we're tied there. And the last one was Jesus Aguilar against the UFC newcomer in Stuart Nickel, when I went Stuart Nickel, and D Rose went Jesus Aguilar. So D Rose wins 2 out of the 3 this week, which means I am bean boozled. Yeah. If you guys want to sponsor us, feel free to. Two beans this week.
Dirty dishwater and booger.
2 out. One's brown and one's red, dude. What if I always get these damn colors? That brown and red. I don't even have to look at the back.
Red is undefeated for you.
That's
red
dirty
and blue.
Band-Aid or pomegranate, or the brown one is liver and onions or cappuccino. I don't even have to look at the back of it, and I already know because I've ate those 2 so many times. So
let's go pomegranate.
Dude, I've never gotten the pomegranate one time. Not even one time have I gotten the pomegranate. So, yeah. There you guys go.
Pomegranate, baby. Let's go.
Beans, Austin. If you want to, if you want to eat along, feel free, my guy.
Get the Band-Aid.
But yeah, do I eat red or brown first? I got my, trusty Target bag here in case it's
got the Target bag prepared.
Dude.
Yeah, you got to go for the brown. You got to go for the brown one first. You got to save the best one for the last one.
All right. So brown one first. It's going to be cappuccino or liver and onions. That's what I get for making bad picks. Here we go. Please be cappuccino. God damn it. I don't have a good feeling about it this week, dude.
Let's go to the Banquet Salisbury steak dinner.
Dude, it's so bad. And the fucked up part about dinners, baby. The fucked up part about the whole thing is the flavor isn't on the inside of the bean. It's like the shell of the bean, and when you bite it, the shell of the bean just goes right in your teeth. So even after I have spit this out, I just feel it all just in my fucking teeth still.
Yeah.
God damn it.
That's what takes me a second to really when it takes me a second to.
I gotta drink of water, dude. My taste buds are good, dude. I know immediately when something ain't good.
Yeah, well, and part of it too is that a lot of times I will not taste it unless it touches my saliva. So I will sit there and chew it, but not the saliva will sit underneath my tongue, and I will not swallow it because I'm I do not want to taste this. And then as soon as I do, I'm and it's caked in my teeth.
Please, not dirty Band-Aid. Give me a pomegranate for one, dude. How many dirty Band-Aids can be in one box, dude? I feel like every one I've had has been dirty Band-Aid. Please, for the sake of this podcast, can I get pomegranate, please?
Band-Aid, 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 Band-Aid. Band-Aid is a classic.
Dude, it's so bad, man.
Band-Aid's back like I never left, baby.
Dude, that box had, dude, how many red ones are left in here? I'm pissed off now, man, because fuck, I dropped one.
Like I can hear like
I fucking
where like your nose and like your
dude, there's one red one left. I swear to God, if this one is not pomegranate, I'm gonna lose it. I'm gonna lose it, dude. This is worse than Dreekus is striking, dude. I'm upset right now.
Dude, that Band-Aid.
Dude,
I had it
like
once.
you had a football game and you had some tape wrapped around your wrist, and then you decided to just chew on it. That's what it takes. Oh God,
dude,
I
will say that I've had it before. It is bad. It is bad, but like I will say, I do think one's like, of course, Dirty Dishwater for me, and Booger are still over that. But
I did chew up the Salisbury steak more than I did the Band-Aid, though. I will say that. Oh,
his liver and onions. But that's what it tastes like, a Salisbury steak. That's hilarious.
Yeah. Anyway, so goodness. We got Dave wanting to puke. Oh my goodness, you psychopath.
It's like why y'all want
because I got 2 good beans last time. All of a sudden, dude, it's like I can't get 2 good beans. If I get 2 good beans, it's a pain for the rest of my life. You're a man of your word, indeed. All right, so glad that's over. So with that being said, let's get into dude, I need water. Our UFC news and fight announcements for this week.
You might need something a little stronger.
Dude, I'm gonna pass it to you for the first one, and I have to go blow my nose, man. I feel like I have I can hear stuff in my nose.
I can hear it in your nose how congested you are.
It's rough. All right, first one for UFC November 2nd. This is Edmonton. I believe that's up in Canada, so probably gonna main event. Women's flyweight main event. Erin Blanchfield versus Thug Rose Namajunas. Take it away, D Rose.
This is a good fight. But I actually think this is a very good fight for Rose Namajunas if she fights like Rose Namajunas. The only thing that worries me about this fight is that Erin Blanchfield has similar abilities that Carla Esparza has, who just for some reason tends to be Rose's kryptonite when it comes to fighting, because I guess she's just so worried about getting taken down. And Rose can be taken down. Her takedown defense is not the best. She just has good jiu-jitsu. She scrambles well. She gets back up to her feet. But Blanchfield, I think, as we saw in that last fight against, Fear Road, that her striking is just not there yet. She is young and she has enough time to develop. I think it's so similar in that Tyler Santos fight. Tyler Santos kind of stood and traded with Erin Blanchfield a little bit. If you're willing to stand and trade, Erin Blanchfield can land. But if you're able to use footwork similar to Amanda Fierro or Rose Namajunas, I think that's where Erin Blanchfield can struggle, man. And I think that's where Rose can really take advantage in this fight and really get the leg up on Erin Blanchfield.
Yeah. We have contradicting comments here. Yeah. I don't think. I'm sorry. Comments agreeing with each other. Both comments and yourself thinking Rose can get it done, man. What happened, dude? Because if I remember correctly, I still got it. Look, dude, Erin Blanchfield, number 100%. One fan. Are you gonna pick against her like early right here, D-Rose?
Well, I will say that hey, you made that because she had won me a pretty decent amount of money on the Tyler Santos fight. So yeah, I was definitely backing her at that point. But yeah, man, just seeing that Fierro fight, seeing that Rose has similar skill set. Her takedown defense is not as lights out as Amanda Fierro, but her grappling, like her defensive jiu-jitsu, is a lot better. And her footwork is just as good as Amanda Fierro. So I think that's just that's something that Blanchfield, she seems to struggle with a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know why, D Rose. I guess I've just seen Rose gets submitted. And I just feel like if this turns into a jiu-jitsu match, dude, this is not good for Rose. Not good at all for Rose. And I'm usually not on the Aaron Blanchfield side, to be honest. So, yeah, I see this as a winnable fight for Aaron, believe it or not. Yeah, interesting. Anyway, up next, also same fight card. We've got the Derek Lewis, the Black Beast, Derek Lewis taking on. I guess he used to be King Kong, but dude, tough fight to call, man. I bet this don't go into the third round though. What's your thoughts on this fight?
Man, this is a weird fight. I mean, Derek Lewis is just going to fight anybody at this point because it doesn't matter who Derek Lewis fights. But Alexander Romanov, I mean, really, I don't know. I mean, that's just a little bit of a weird matchup. I mean, you could do Rosenstrike. You could do. I mean, I wouldn't be mad at a tie rematch. I mean, at this point, I think you should just put Derek Lewis in fun fights, not what Alexander Romanov's going to go in there and try to wrestle and take him down and submit him, man. And I'd love to see Derek Lewis
last a minute, dude, and it's time for Derek Lewis to take over, dude.
Yeah, I mean, and his get-ups are phenomenal. He literally just gets up. Like, what's his get-up strategy? Does he crawl towards the fence and try to post up from there? No, he just gets up. That's all he does. Dude, just gets up.
But the fat slob that Romanov is, dude, that's going to be a lot of man to just get off of you, dude.
It's going to be a lot of fat to get off of you, not a lot of man. Dude. I wouldn't say that.
Yeah. Dave going Derek Lewis around 1 KO. Going to be an interesting fight, though. Going to be an interesting card up there. And then the news that broke the internet, UFC 307, Alex Poatan Pereira going up against none other than Khalil Roundtree Jr. Man, I know a lot of people are upset at this. I don't care too much because who else is Alex going to fight? Yeah, I don't like Khalil too much. I think he's a weirdo and he cries every time he's on the microphone for some reason, dude. It's like, hey, stop crying every time you're on the microphone, please. And it seems fake. I don't know why it just comes off as fake to me personally. I don't know why. So I kind of don't like him for that. He is a good fighter. He does have crazy knockouts, but he also does have the fights like he had against Marcin Prachnio where he lost to Marcin Prachnio. So, yeah, give me Alex to sleep Khalil Roundtree. Because first of all, we don't even know which Khalil Roundtree is going to show up. But yeah, what's your thoughts on this fight, man?
Yeah, I know I sent it to you, and I was really surprised because Dave, that going to 60 seconds depends on, as Matt said, which Khalil shows up. You get that fiery type of Khalil. Oh yeah, it could be going to 60 seconds, but if he gets that one where he's just kind of standing there and taking pictures and stuff like that, man, he's it could be a slow night. But yeah, I was surprised when they made the matchup. I thought they were going to give it to Ankalaev. I thought maybe they were just going to give Alex the rest of the year off, but then at the same time, I mean, the UFC is in the business of selling fights, and which fight is more entertaining? Or it has the potential to be more entertaining. Alex Pereira versus Magomed Ankalaev or Alex Pereira versus Khalil Roundtree. Especially when you play those highlight reels next to one another. Alex Pereira getting the constant knockouts and Khalil having the body kicks on the ground. You know what I mean? To grounded opponents in a legal way that, just absolutely menacing, at Khalil's highlight reels. So yeah, Antoine, you are right. And I made the same point to Matt when we were messaging each other the other day that, he came off of the busted drug test from Jamal Hill to now fighting for the title. But maybe that goes to show that Jamal Hill really isn't ready.
Right here. Me and you agree with Dave.
Yes, 1,000%. I mean, I've made that point. I've made that point, and now they got the two most boring fighters in that division, Magomed and Rakic, are going up against one another. But for this fight in particular, yes, it's a super fun fight, and yeah, I want to love to see that fight when it happens.
Yeah, me too. Should be a fun one, dude. Also, same card. the one that no one cares about. But let Juliana Pena be a dog in this fight, dude. Let her be the underdog in this fight. I will launch it. I will launch it. DraftKings reached out to me over the weekend and offered me VIP status. I just had to deposit $500 in my DraftKings account, and I did it. So I'm now a DraftKings VIP, at least for the next 3 weeks. They'll see what my play is like, and then yeah. So with that being said, yeah, too bad this ain't soon enough, dude. I would like to see odds on this. I like Juliana to be and new for the second time. What's your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I like I'm a Rocky fan, and
I gotta go grab a soda, dude. This taste is just in my mouth still. Sorry.
yeah, no, I think can't blame you for that flavor from that Band-Aid, man. It is brutal. But no, I think this is it's a good fight. Is it the fight that needs to happen next? Maybe not. I mean, you can maybe make the argument that Kayla Harrison, coming off the domination of Holly Holm the way she had, that maybe she could fight for the title. Instead, she's fighting Caitlin Vieira on this card, and I think a big reason why is because they want to see if Kayla Harrison can make the weight class consistently. And, they don't want to schedule Rocky for a title fight, knowing that a Kayla Harrison might not be able to weigh in properly. So why not have somebody who's fought for the title already? And Pena's also going to sell the fight a little bit more than Kayla Harrison as well. So, just in the terms of talking smack, they got a little rivalry going back to tough back in the day. So, I mean, as much as people kind of hate on the fight, I mean, it makes sense.
I agree. Let's go the Venezuelan Vixen, though. Also, I thought it was going to be Wonder Boy versus MVP. What happened to that fight? But we got Joaquin Buckley taking on Wonder Boy, UFC 307, October 5th. What's your thoughts here?
Well, I think people wanted the MVP Thompson fight before the Ian Gary fight, but I think after that happened, I think a lot of people moved away from it because of the potential that it could be maybe a boring fight. And I've said that same thing. I think Buckley and Wonder Boy, I think it's a little bit of a different stylistic matchup, and for Buckley, it's the biggest name of his career that he could fight, that could help him move up in the division. And we saw how Buckley used his wrestling in his last fight against, Ruziboyev. So, yeah, I'd see this being a pretty good matchup for Joaquin Buckley here.
Fair enough. Wonder Boy is getting up there, as you said. We got a fun one for Kevin Holland here. Chris Curtis is out of the fight, and Roman Dolidze steps in. Also, UFC 307, October 5th. So going to be on that same card, I believe, in Salt Lake City. What's your thoughts on Roman Dolidze versus the Trailblazer, Kevin Holland?
I mean, I like that fight, and I actually like that fight for Kevin Holland early on, if you ask me. I mean, if he can keep it on the feet, I mean, he's clearly the more polished and more dangerous striker, in my opinion. But we know how dangerous Roman is when he can get the fight to the ground. His takedowns are the greatest for him to be a powerhouse the way he is, but yeah, once he gets the fight to the ground, his submission skills are real. But yeah, I think just in terms of the way these dudes match up, yeah, I think it's a good stylistic matchup for they both have ways that they can win the fight, and that's what makes it the most interesting.
I agree. We've got one that I don't care about at all, but I'll ask you if you care about it. It is on my birthday, so this is UFC's gift to me on my birthday. Antonio Tricali versus Trayshawn Gore. UFC November 9th. What's your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, happy birthday to you on this one. No, I do not care.
All right. We got Mackenzie Dern versus Amanda Hebus 2, December 14th. And I think that there's a card, I think December 14th. I think that's going to be in Tampa, Florida, D-Rose. But anyway, what's your thoughts on Amanda Hebus versus Mackenzie Dern 2?
That's not Amanda Hebus in that picture, correct? Like,
that is Amanda Hebus in that picture, D-Rose.
There's no way.
Yeah, well, I mean, she is bigger than Mackenzie Dern is. She probably has on shoes as well.
I gotta, yeah, because dude, there is no way that Amanda Hebos is that much bigger than Mackenzie Dern. I just find that hard to believe. But yeah, and just in terms of the fight, I mean,
I
I don't want to
can
say
confirm,
exactly.
D Rose. I can confirm that is the face off.
That's crazy.
That is the face, dude.
Dude, I would not have thought Amanda
It's
Hebos
like
is that
she's
much bigger.
fighting like Marina Rodriguez. Like that's how fucking tall she looks. But
Right,
I
that's what I'm
mean,
saying. Like
yeah,
it just looks weird in that picture. That's why that does not look like Amanda Hebos at all, unless like Mackenzie Dern's like squatting down or something like that. Because I don't remember them being that that much of a size difference.
yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure Dern has. I mean, I'm sure Hibasa has shoes on in that picture. But yeah, going to be a fun fight for the second one. The last time that this fight happened, I
Hebos
think,
won by decision, right?
yeah, I believe,
Yeah, I think that
yeah,
was Mackenzie Dern's first loss, or first loss in UFC at least.
yeah, probably it was at strawweight too. So, wait, yeah, this is also
Yeah,
going
this
to
is
be at
also
strawweight.
strawweight.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll move on. That's going to be this weekend. Ryan Loder taking on Robert Valentine, dude. This dude right here on the right, D Rose, Robert Valentine. You gotta watch out for this guy. He kind of a psychopath. When I wake up in the mornings, that's what I look like sometimes. Goodness
Well, damn,
great.
that changed quick.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
literally
So
changed
Derek,
as I said it. Like they must have heard me and was like, "Oh damn, D Rose, you right."
yeah. So UFC November 2nd. Derek Lewis no longer going to be fighting. I forgot who it was, to be honest.
Alexander Romanov. Damn, D
Alexander
Rose, you right,
Romanov.
dude.
He's not going to be facing Jonta Deniz just now. Fought Carl Williams a few days ago, and it was a terrible fight, at least in my opinion. What's your thoughts on the new matchup for the Black Beast?
Yeah, that's a more appropriate matchup for what I was looking for, other than Alexander Romanov. So yeah, that's a fun fight. And it should be fun while it lasts because both of them, you know, in their own ways are deadly strikers. Obviously, Denise has the kickboxing, and Derek Lewis is going in there with the lunch boxes for hands, looking to take somebody out. Yes, sir, Antoine.
I agree. And Antoine wanting to know who we have in Carla versus Pennington. Personally, I could not care less in that fight, but probably Tisha Torres.
Yeah. If I had the gun to my head, Tisha.
Also on that same card, D Rose, Alexander Romanov gets a new opponent, and it is Rodrigo Nascimento. Yeah,
The guy who Derek Lewis just met.
better matchup for Romanov, I guess.
Yeah, that and again, just more appropriate matchmaking. It's like I'm glad someone got in the UFC's ear and was like, Alexander Romanov does not deserve to fight a star like Derek Lewis with his boring ass fight style. So let's give him Rodrigo Nascimento and bury him in the prelims.
Sounds good. We've got a fun one here. Dustin Jacoby taking on Vitor Petrino. That is UFC Tampa, December 14th. What's your thoughts on this fight?
Yeah, funny. The only time I ever picked Vitor Petrino to win a fight, and he ends up losing to Anthony Smith. So I'm like, dude, you know what? I'm going to continue to ride that wave of not picking Vitor Petrino because I'm just afraid he's going to gas out. And Dustin Jacoby's a good kickboxer as well. So early thoughts, I think Dustin Jacoby should be able to win, but that should also be a very fun fight because Dustin Jacoby is a little bit chinny, and Petrino does have power.
Indeed, he does. Danny Silva is out. Oh, that's for this weekend. So Dennis Bazooka will now face Francis Fire Marshall. So I was excited for Danny Silva, dude. He was a fun watch in his first fight. Yeah, so I was doing some research on the wrong guy earlier, but I'm familiar with Francis Fire Marshall. And, my Dennis Bazooka study doesn't go notice.
I knew the Bazooka and Silva fight was off, but I didn't know who they replaced him with.
Yeah, we got Ludovic Klein taking on Nicholas Moda. That's going to be UFC Paris, September 28th. Feel bad for Nicholas Moda a little bit in this fight. What's your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, 100%. Klein's a powerhouse, dude, and he's starting to come along now with his striking and his grappling at 155. He settled in the weight class. He's super bulky, powerhouse, man. So, yeah, I think that's a bad matchup for Moda.
I'll never forget the way he beat the shit out of AJ Cunningham, dude. That was bad. Dude, like, it was like a heavy bag with legs, dude. Just rough to see. We've got, okay, I think this guy won last week on Contender Series, Mansour Abdul Malik.
Yep.
He's going to be fighting Dusko Todorovic, UFC Vegas 100. That's going to be on my birthday. Yeah, you care about that one at all?
Should be a solid fight.
We haven't seen Dusko in a while.
Yeah, we haven't. And Abdul Malik, we was just saying that his cardio, if it gets tested a little bit, it's going to be interesting to see. He's a powerhouse, but yeah, it should be a good fight for as long as it lasts.
Indeed. So move on to the next one, or we have a fun one, dude. I'm a fan of both these ladies. We have the killer Karine Silva, and she's going to be taking on Vivi Araujo. That's going to be November 16th. UFC 309, November 6th. I already said November 16th. What's your thoughts on this one, man? And that's the last one we have.
Yeah, that's a good fight. Two absolute killers, in their own way. And Karine Silva, that chick, she's nonstop all the time. I mean, I know she lost her last fight, but other than that, she's still an absolute dog. And Vivi, you had to hit her with the baseball bat in order to get her out of there, man. So as tough as an old $2 steak. And yeah, that's good matchmaking for this fight.
Yeah, I agree. So that's going to be it for the UFC news and fight announcements, I believe. Do you have anything that I missed out on, Durango Rose?
No, you pretty much nailed it, man.
All right, let me go through the chat one last time, see if you guys have anything. Yeah, just the Tisha, the Tisha Torres versus Carlos Esparza, where I guess this Tisha still looks good, and Carla likes to go in there and just kind of stand there for the most part. So I think Tisha will probably win that. But hey, wouldn't surprise me if Carla won, to be honest. So we'll move on to pretty much why everyone's probably here. Our UFC news, our UFC Vegas 96, Jared Cannonier versus Caio Borralho, our preview and our picks for this upcoming weekend. Dave, alopecia Torres. All right. So this upcoming weekend, let me get my screen shared. Share screen. There we go. So this upcoming weekend, we have a fight card. We have 10 fights on said fight card. So probably shouldn't go too late. However, UFC decided they want to start it at 7 p.m. So thanks UFC for making me wait up till probably close to 12:30 at night for the co-main event of Angie Hill versus Tabitha Ricci. And then probably around 1 a.m. I'll be watching Caio Borralho versus Jared Cannonier. Could have made this at 4, 5 UFC. Come on. But it'll be taking place this Saturday, August 24th at 7 p.m. East Coast time, where it will be taking place at the UFC Apex in Las Vegas, Nevada. We have 10 fights on the card, headlined by the Killer Gorilla, Jared Cannonier. The Killer Gorilla. That's my favorite. The Killer Gorilla, Jared Cannonier. And he's going to be taking on Caio, the Natural Borralho. In the co-main event, we've got Angie Overkill Hill taking on Tabitha, the baby shark Ricci, baby. In their feature fight of the night, we have the UFC tough, or not UFC, the tough, I believe it's 27-28 finale between Ryan Loder and Robert Valentine. Going to be a fun fight there. We've got Michael Morales taking on Neil Magny. We've got Edmund Shabazian taking on GM3 or GM Round 3, Gerald Mearshart. We've got Dennis Bazooka taking on Francis Fire Marshall. We've got Vyacheslav Barshos, aka Slava Claus, and he is going to be taking on James Yontop. Is this the
Nick
dude that
tattoo
has
guy, right?
Yeah, this is the dude that has like the other fight promotion on his neck. Just looks weird. Oh, and he lost to Taco. That's where I'd like to know him from. He got choked out by Taco, won me the pick champ that week. We do have Jose Medina. This is the dude from last year on Contender Series. He's going to be taking on Zach Reese. We've got Josiane Nunez taking on Jacqueline. How do I say this? I don't think it's Cavalcante. I think it's, I don't remember. Cavalcanetti, maybe something like that. I don't know. One of the two. And in our opening fight of the night, we have Kong Wong, UFC newcomer, taking on Victoria Leonardo, that probably has some of the worst striking I have ever seen, to be honest. We did have a couple canceled fights for this card, being Dennis Bazooka, Danny Silva, and Roman Kapilov taking on Bruno Ferreira. That would have been a fun fight. But Roman Kapilov apparently had appendicitis. No joke. Hopefully he gets that taken out and taken care of. So, first fight of the night, D-Rose, are actually, before we get started on the fights, do you notice a theme for this card, dude? I know. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say no. I haven't noticed a theme.
There's a theme with this card. Is like, I mean, you got to look at the matchup. So we got Michael I'm just going to start right here, dude. Let's start Edmund Shabazian GM3, dude. It's like Edmund Shabazian. UFC has been trying to push him for a long time. He's still young. GM3's pretty old. Next fight, Neil Magny, Michael Morales. Neil Magny probably makes more just to show up than Michael Morales actually wins in like 3 or 4 fights. So it's like UFC really trying to, this one might be the last one for Neil Magny. Actually, no, probably not, because he like won the last one against Mike Malott. So but I think they're trying to, show Neil Magny the door at this point. Again, Angie Overkill Hill, Tabitha Ricci, dude. It's like Angie Overkill Hill, about 40 years old. Tabitha Ricci, this new up-and-comer. Once again, Angie Hill probably makes what Tabitha Ricci makes in 3 or 4 fights, just because she's probably been with the UFC for so long. And then main event, dude, Kyle Bahio, Jared Cannonier. Once again, Jared Cannonier, 40 years old, dude. Like, probably makes a ton of money, dude. And it's like, Contender Series rolling around. Ultimate Fighter just ended, dude. They're trying to get some of these vets that are older that, aren't really doing much in their career. They're trying to, hey, show them the door, dude. Trying to get some of these new young guys in that aren't making as much money just to show up. So, yeah, there's, in my opinion, there's definitely a theme for this fight night. UFC's got a plan, but that's for the main card. We got a little bit before we get there. First fight of the night, we do have Kong Wang, or Kong Wong, I don't know how you say it, taking on Victoria Fury Leonardo. We have the Joker. Kong Wong is undefeated, so out of her last 5 fights, her only 5 fights, she is 5-0. Victoria Fury Leonardo, with a Dragon Ball Z costume up there, is 9-5 overall.
That's why I was laughing.
Out of her last 5 fights, she is 2 wins and 3 losses. A win 3 years ago on Contender Series over Chelsea Hackett. A loss to Manon Fury in her first fight in the UFC, where she got absolutely demolished. Kind of felt bad for her. Then lost to Melissa Gatto via knockout, or I'm sorry, via broken arm. She does have a win against none other than Mandy Baum, but God, Mandy Baum is just, you
So
could replace
bad.
that. You could replace that OH in her name with a U, and it would fit perfectly. And then just got absolutely demolished against Natalia Silva. So this dude, UFC must hate Victoria Leonardo, dude. They are just look, Manon Fear, Melissa Gatto, Natalia Silva. And now let's get to Kong Wong. And she is 32 years old from China. Currently odds for this fight, D Rose, are minus 1,200 for Kong Wong and plus 750 for Victoria Leonardo. So did a little bit of background research. Yeah, dude, Kong Wong has a very long kickboxing background. Goes back quite a bit. She's 32 years old, but 10 years ago, D Rose, she fought Valentina Shevchenko in kickboxing. So, she's been around for a little bit. Yeah. She's been around for a little bit. As I said, 32 years old, 5'6", 65.5-inch reach. Victoria Leonardo, poor Victoria Leonardo, is 34 years old, 5'5" and 64-inch reach, dude. Yeah, this is most likely going to be Kong Wong round one. Kong Wong round one knockout, dude. Yeah, that's the way I'm going this week here. Do you have a lean in this fight?
Yeah, I know that I'm not going to bet on Victoria Leonardo. That's all I know, because she's known for getting absolutely crushed,
smoked in the first round.
Yeah, she's notorious for getting crushed. I mean, am I going to bet this fight? Not a chance, because I don't know enough about Wang Kong, except for the fact that she's a solid kickboxer, and Victoria Leonardo, if there's one thing she's good at getting hit, and a lot too. So let's go Wang Kong.
All right. So me and D Rose both on UFC newcomer in Wang Kong in the first fight of the night. Let's see if you guys have anything to say about this fight. Well, waiting on shit to load. Give me a second. All right. I didn't see. Well, what did I miss, D Rose? What did I miss?
Well, I was looking down.
Okay. Timed it just right for the predictions part. Let's go. Well, I appreciate you stopping by tonight, Paul. Honestly, love the late night fights. I don't like staying up late for not good fights. He's got lasers in those palms. This low key isn't that bad. It's give it a solid B. D-Rose falling asleep again.
I'm looking down at my phone. I have the card pulled up. I got it on my phone right here. Okay. I'm trying to check the background of these fighters as we're sitting here talking about this thing here. We ain't falling asleep.
All right. Next fight of the night, we have one of my favorite fighters to talk about, and it's basically just because she's shaped like this. Here, let me full screen myself. Sorry, D-Rose. It's like a normal lady, is all dainty, like, as where Josiane Nunez is shaped like this, and she just has these fucking hooks where she just comes and just fucking swings on. D-Rose, is this not Josiane Nunez right here? That fucking left hook, dude. And it's just her left hook. One of her arms are bigger than the other one, dude. It's crazy. It's crazy, dude. It looks weird.
She's got the Yoel Romero neck.
Dude, it don't show both of her arms in this picture, dude, but I swear her left arm is twice the size of her right arm, and she's just clubbing these bitches. I am a fan of Josiane Nunez. I do want to throw that out there. Josiane Nunez is 10-2 overall. Out of her last 5 fights, she is 1-4 and lost 1. UFC debut, she absolutely knocked the absolute shit out of Faye Malecki, dude. Made me be a fan of Josiane Nunez. She then fought Ramona Pascal, and I was like, I bet Josiane Nunez knockout, because you don't see girls knocking many other girls out at or just in in the women fights total. So bet that, lost that, and then I bet her to knock out Zara Farn when she didn't knock her out, but Josiane Nunez still won. In her last fight, she lost against fucking Chelsea Chandler, dude, and that fight came down to what I was expecting Chelsea Chandler to do in her last fight against Yana and just use her size, but she just outsized Josiane Nunez for the most part. Not really much she can do. On the other hand, Jacqueline Cavalcante fought in LFA. She has had one fight in the UFC. Also fought Zara Farron in her last fight 11 months ago. She did win via decision. Currently, odds for this fight are -192 for Jacqueline Cavalcante, plus 160 for Josiane Nunez. Josiane Nunez, 30 years old, 5'2", and a 67-inch reach, while Jacqueline Cavalcanti is 26 years old, 5'8", and a 70-inch reach. So Cavalcanti going to be 6 inches taller, D-Rose, and have a 3-inch reach advantage. The crazy part is Josiane Nunez usually has the reach advantage over the girls that she's fighting, even though she's so short. But yeah, as I said, I'm a Josiane Nunez fan, but dude, I think Cavalcante's she's got really good footwork and good kicks, dude. And I just don't think that I can see Josiane finding the range to get in to even hit this girl. So unfortunately, I'm not going with my girl, Josiane Nunez, this week. I will be going Jacqueline Cavalcanti, probably to win this fight via decision. I might bet it. I might not. I'm not sure. But Cavalcanti decision, once I get a prop for that, I might take a look at it. I'll let you guys know Friday on Change to Cheddar. Dude, what's your thoughts on this fight?
As you said, Josiane Nunez, she's an absolute just bruiser. She's going in there, she's looking to hurt you. She's not going in there to play no games, but I do think just in terms of how she can't get checked about her neck. Dude, she literally dude, she literally has the Yoel Romero neck, dude. Like, dude, her neck is just. It looks like
she just looks like Finney last night on Contender Series.
Just all head and shoulders ass, like dude, it's crazy. But I do think just in terms of how Jacqueline and Josiane Nunez match up, Jacqueline having the kickboxing background. She's more the technical striker between the two. She doesn't really seem to have too much power in her shots, but just kind of sets everything up well and can throw good combinations as well. But Josiane Nunez, she has a danger factor. She has the power factor. So if she does get close, if she can kind of close that range, similar to Kai Car-France, how we did against Steve Burseg, she can put the lights out on some of these.
She don't move that fast. She don't move that fast.
No, she doesn't move that fast. But I'm talking. But she will leap. She will leap, and she's got a better reach than you think. So when she's just leaping with them big hooks, she's looking to take you out, man. So she lunges in one of them big lunch boxes, man. She can put somebody out of there. But I think as long as Jacqueline can stay on the outside, should be able to pick her apart for a decision win. So let's go and Jacqueline Cavalcanti.
All right, me and D Rose both on Cavalcanti via decision. We got the next fight being Jose Chicho Medina taking on Zachary the Savage Reese. And yeah, where do I start? I'm just going to give you all the records and such. Jose Medina, 11-3 overall. Out of his last 5 fights, he is 4 wins and 1 loss. And this last win is on the Contender Series. And yeah, D Rose, you see that and you're like, okay, he was on the Contender Series. He was on the Contender Series, lost, but they're just needing him for like a late notice replacement, so they're going to sign him to the UFC, right? That's what you probably think, yeah?
You would think.
No. Dana White gave this guy the contract last year after losing in the fight. Do you remember when he was like, I don't know what it is about this guy, but I like him. He's a dog. It was like a fat dude that didn't belong in his weight class, that could probably go like 2 weight classes down, that just got the shit beat out of him for all 3 rounds. But Dana White was impressed that he was tough, I guess, and signed him. That's this guy. And he's going to be taking on Zachary Reese this weekend, dude. So, yeah, good fucking luck, dude. I don't see this guy winning any part of the fight. I think he's just going to get beat up for the most part. But we haven't seen Zachary Reese outside of the first round, dude. So I don't know here. Currently, odds for this fight are minus 535, the favorite, Zachary Reese, plus 400, the underdog from Bolivia, Jose Chicho Medina. Jose Medina, 33 years old. He last weighed in at 205, 6 foot, 74 and a half inch reach. Zach Reese from Texas, 30 years old, 6'4" and a 77 inch reach. Yeah, dude, give me Zach Reese round 1 submission, because that's what Zachary Reese does. I see Cody Brundage, being the guy that Cody Brundage is, just being all that he can be for about 2 minutes, dude. So you can see him knocking anyone out in the first 2 minutes, but he didn't just knock out Zachary Reese. He was put in an arm bar and got picked up and slammed on his head. So, you can't really take too much away from that. Shit happens, I guess. So yeah, dude, give me Zachary Reese to get back to what he does, and give me Zachary Reese probably round 1 submission. What's your thoughts on this fight?
Yeah, this is I'm glad he brought that to light now, because Medina, I did remember, I saw where he had the loss, but you explained it about him having the toughness factor that Dana White ended up appreciating more. That is cool, but at the end of the day, he did get pieced up in that fight pretty much as well. I'm not confident in picking at all, because again, that loss to Cody Brundage will just burn in my mind forever. I mean, I had Zachary Reese in a parlay, and he was the last leg that I needed, and of course, he ended up busting it for me. So anybody that can lose to Cody Brundage in that fashion, I'm halting the brakes on you for a little bit. I need to see you. I need to see you prove it a little bit more, man. But in terms of him winning this matchup, I mean, I think he's the better striker and submission artist overall. So let's go with Zachary Reese here.
All right, me and D-Rose both on Zachary the Savage Reese. Do you think he gets the finish round 1, or do you think this maybe could sneak over? Because if you like the guy being so tough, Zachary Reese by decision will probably be a good number, if I could see that when it opens up.
True. It's just so scary, because I don't think any of his wins have gone. Well, none of his fights have gone past the first or second round.
Past the first round,
so,
yeah.
Right. So it's always scary looking at a decision prop for someone who's never gone out of the first round, but the first time for everything, So it might not be a bad play in terms of money wise, but yeah, I just don't trust either fighter enough to place any of my money towards either of them.
All right, so me and D-Rose both on Zachary Reese. We'll move on to the next one, where we've got Vyacheslav Barshov, a.k.a. Slava Claus. He'll deliver packages to your tummy. That's what he'll do. He's going to be taking on James Goku Yantop. Vyacheslav Barshov is 7-4-1 out of his last 5 fights, dude. He's better than his record implies, dude. Decision loss to Mark DeCasey, decision loss to Mike Davis, dude, and both dudes that just wrestle fucked him. He does have a knockout against Mahashate, which, he should. Then the draw that me and you were split on, Nazim Sadikov against Vyacheslav Barshov in that fight. I think that was for the pick champ that week too. It ended up being a draw. And then in his last fight, dude, that's the one that kind of worries me, dude, is the Chase Hooper fight, because he got mollywopped against Chase Hooper. And it's not, that Chase Hooper dropped him on the feet. Dude, it's that it was 3 months ago and Chase Hooper the damage that Chase Hooper did to him over the 3 rounds, man. Is 3 months enough time to come back from that, dude? I don't know. On the other hand, he's going to be taking on James Yontop, 14-3 overall. At his last 5 fights, 4 wins and 1 loss, a win on the Contender Series via decision, and then lost his UFC debut against Taco Chris Padilla, also in a pick champ for me and D-Rose. Currently odds for this fight, -218 for Vyacheslav Barshov and +180 for James Yontop. Vyacheslav Barshov, Slava Claus, 32 years old, 5'11", and a 69-inch reach, while James Yontop, 25 years old, 6 foot, and a 73-inch reach. Yeah, D-Rose, every fight that Slava Claus has been in the UFC has basically been against someone that wanted to take him down, and like the couple times that it wasn't, he pretty much knocked the dude out, or it was a banger of a fight, really close back and forth. So this is the fight that Slava Claus wants. As I said, that last fight kind of worries me with the damage, not with the striking and him getting dropped by Chase Hooper, because Chase Hooper ever improving, and if you're not expecting him to throw this overhang, you're expecting him to shoot, and then it hits you, dude. A punch can change anything. So yeah, I'm not really worried about him getting hit. It's just the damage that he has absorbed. How much time has he had to recover? I am still going to go Slava Claus to win this fight, just because James Yontop isn't going to try to wrestle him at all. So Slava Claus knows exactly what's going to be coming at him. A Peruvian boxer, kickboxer, whatever, dude. So give me Slava Claus to win this fight. Let's say 2nd round knockout. He's going to hurt him to the body. What's your thoughts on this fight, man?
Yeah, no, this is a fun fight, low key banger. Probably will be the most fun fight on the card. As you said, Slava Claus always ends up bringing the scrap, and James Yontop, he just has that menacing look to him. As you said, I know you said you had bet Taco against Yontop, and then once you saw Yontop sit on the scale with the neck tattoo, you were like, "This is the dude with the neck tattoo."
Is it the? No, it's the dude with the Uzi on his face. I'm not sure if it's this guy or not.
Okay. See, I thought this was the neck tattoo dude. That
well, he like, does have a neck tattoo,
but that might not be the one that you were talking about.
Yeah.
Okay, I might have mixed the two up, but no, I think.
Oh, nope. This is him. He's got an Uzi on his face. FFC.
Yeah, that's what I thought that was him.
Yep, that's him.
I thought that was him. I remember you were like, "Damn, I picked against this." Yeah, you was like, "I picked against."
I mean, you get an Uzi tattooed on your face, dude. You are all in, man.
Yeah, you're a G, man. You're a G. I think I'm actually gonna go with the upset pick here, man. I think Borralho can get hit in some of his fights. In the Dennis Bazooka fight, he got. All right, I'm sorry, Dennis Bazooka. I'm jumping ahead here, but the Nazim Sadikov fight, he got clipped up a little bit in that fight. He ended up basically battling back in the last 2 rounds, but he got 10-8'd in that first round because he got absolutely demolished. And yeah, I think as you said, the Chase Hooper fight, dude, he got crushed a lot in that fight. And Chase Hooper is not even the most technical striker, although he's getting better. I didn't like seeing Borralho taking the damage like that, and as you said, such a quick turnaround. James Yontop or James Yontop, I know that he fought in April as well, but a pretty quick fight, and I think his back's against the wall, looking to try to basically hold his spot in the UFC. And again, Borralho can get hit a lot, man. So coming down to a gunfight, I think Yontop's got the power to get him out of there. So, but let's go James Yontop here.
All right, me and D-Rose. First split of the evening. I am on Slava Claus, Vyacheslav Barshov, D-Rose on Goku James Yontop. We'll move on to the next fight, being Dennis Bazooka taking on Francis Fire Marshall. Dennis the Great Bazooka is 12-4 overall out of his last 5 fights. He has 3 wins and 2 losses. A loss. What the? I don't remember. Oh, okay. I remember this. I don't remember the Connor Matthews fight. I'll have to go back. I haven't got this far into my research this week because I knew who Dennis Bazooka was, and he was going to be fighting. Who was it? Where'd it go? Where'd it go, D Rose? Who was he going to be fighting? I was about to do.
He was supposed to fight Danny Silva.
Yeah, Danny Silva. I was about to look up Danny Silva, and then I was like, "Oh shit, time for the podcast." But yeah, this one's an odd one, D Rose, because yeah, let's just talk about it. So Dennis Bazooka is 12-4 overall, 3 wins, 2 losses in his last 5 fights. A loss to Sean Woodson via unanimous decision, where it was late notice. That was the Nashville card, D Rose, when I bought the tickets to Corey Sandhagen, Umar, and then got Corey Sandhagen, Rob Font. Sean Woodson fought Dennis Bazooka on that card, and I just went Sean Woodson, and in person it looked like a closer fight. When I watched it back, it was a pretty clear decision for Sean Woodson. He then fought Jamal Emmers 9 months ago, dude, and I think we were all on Jamal Emmers via decision, and he got smoked in the first round. So busted everyone's bets, but Jamal Emmers still won for the most part. And then he has a win over Connor Matthews 4 months ago. On the other hand, Francis Fire Marshall, 7-2 overall, was undefeated until his last 2 fights. I feel like I feel like we've seen Francis Marshall way more than 4 times in the UFC. Maybe it's just because we've talked about him more times, or I've looked into him a lot more, but I feel like I've watched his fights way more than 4 times in the UFC. But anyway, decision win over Connor Matthews on the Contender Series, a Marcelo Rojo knockout a year ago, and then William Gomis split decision a year and 3 months ago, and then the Isaac Dulgarian fight happened, and the one that I know that opened your eyes up to Isaac Dulgarian in that fight a year ago. Mm-hmm. Currently, odds for this fight, though, D Rose, are. Let me see if we got any. Do we have any? I don't think we got any.
I got on ESPN Bet right now. They got Francis Marshall at -150, and the comeback on Dennis Bazooka is +125. So Francis Marshall coming in on short notice and still the favorite. That's surprising.
Yeah, makes sense. So about what it's telling us here on Tapology. So Dennis Bazooka, 26 years old, 5'9", 70-inch reach. Francis Marshall, 25 years old, 5'9", and 72-inch reach. So Francis Marshall going to be the bigger guy, which I don't ever see him being the bigger guy. So, give me Francis Marshall to win this fight via decision easily as well. So 30-27, Francis Marshall. Which way are you going here, man?
I think this is I think it's actually a well matched fight. Good job of the matchmakers to kind of scramble here at the last second to throw this fight together. And I think both fighters, not quite Spider-Man meme. I think Dennis Bazooka is a little bit more boxing heavy and got good kicks as well. Where Francis Marshall, he's got solid boxing, but likes to implement his wrestling a lot as well. Likes to show his well-rounded ability. Doesn't really have too much submission skill. But Francis Marshall, good wrestler, good boxer. I think this is a close, well contested fight. Man, I'm gonna take a shot at the dog here, man. I want to go Dennis Bazooka here, and I'm gonna say I like the power that Dennis Bazooka brings. I think he finally got that knockout that he needed against Connor Matthews to kind of get that swagger that he kind of came into the UFC with. As you said, he fought Sean Woodson tough. And he took that fight on 2 days' notice against John Woodson, a dude who's super dangerous. So credit to him for that. Jamal Emmers, I think he just went in there fighting in New York. He had even said that, he trained in New York at one time with Sarah Longo camp, had a lot of nerves going into that fight. And, Jamal Emmers sat him on his wallet. But you saw that he was able to turn around in the Connor Matthews fight. get into a really fun scrap and get that knockout there in the third round. So I think power wise, Dennis Bazooka is going to be able to basically sway the judges in what I think will be a competitive fight. But I think Dennis Bazooka gets it done.
Fair enough. And Antoine, I think he's a little young, man. I don't know. I don't know if I see him being top 15. That's a lot to ask, like, especially after the Isaac Bulgarian fight. It's just not a good look.
Yeah. At this current stage, I would say no, because we both were pretty high on him coming off of the Contender Series, and then taking the 2 losses. The William Gomi, he really had a hard time tracking William Gomi down in that fight, and just getting absolutely bulldozed by Isaac Bulgarian. Definitely got to pump the brakes on him. Definitely someone that we recognize has the talent, but rankings potential, not at this moment just yet, but could build back up to that way eventually.
I agree. So we're going to move on to the main event finally, where we have the Golden Boy, Edmund Shabazian, taking on GM3 or GM Round 3, Gerald Mearshart. The Golden Boy, Edmund Shabazian, is 13-4 overall. Out of his last 5 fights, he has 3 losses and 2 wins. A loss 3 years ago to Jack Hermanson, a loss 2 years and 9 months ago to Nasruddin Imavov, a win a year and 8 months ago to Dasha Lugi Mbola, a loss a year and 3 months ago to Anthony Hernandez, and then a win 4 months ago to AJ Dobson. On the other hand, GM3 Gerald Mearshart, also out of his last 5 fights, 3 losses and 2 wins. A loss 2 years ago to Krzysztof Jotko, a win over Bruno Silva, lost to Joe Pfeiffer, lost to Andrei Petrovsky, and then a win over Brian Bam Bam Barberina. Currently, odds for this fight are Edmund Shabazian minus 290, your favorite. GM3 plus 235, your underdog. Edmund Shabazian, still only 26 years old, had about all of his fights in the UFC, and 26 years old, 6'2" and a 75-inch reach, while GM3 Gerald Mearshart is 36 years old, 6'1" and a 77.5-inch reach. I'm going to keep it short here, man. This fight's going one of 2 ways, and I'm sure you could agree with me. It's round 1 Edmund Shabazian or round 3 submission for GM3. I guess it could go to decision, and Edmund maybe could squeak it out, dude. But, dude, he gasses. It just is what it is, man. So I'm going to go Edmund round 1 sub. I will probably have 2 bets on this fight. It'll be Edmund round 1, round 2 KO, or GM3 round 2, round 3 sub. So I am going to go Edmund round 1 KO. Which way are you going here, man?
This is a classic matchup, striker versus grappler. GM3, I believe 10 of his 11 wins in the UFC are by submission as well. So we already know where he's going to want to take the fight. Where Edmund, I mean, even in that last fight against AJ Dobson, because there was a lot of hype for Edmund, obviously coming out the Brad Tavares knockout and all those things. I picked AJ Dobson going into that fight, and I actually bet on AJ Dobson as well. He was a pretty significant underdog, and dude, he hurt Edmund Shabazian bad in that round. Before Edmund Shabazian, he did turn it around, land a big shot against AJ Dobson, got him out of there. So it was good that Edmund Shabazian was able to show some adversity there, but just shows that, not only in the grappling game does Edmund Shabazian have these issues, but even in the strike and defense, man, he could take some big shots, man. And if somebody's got the power to get him out of there, I think they could take advantage of it. But I don't think Gerald Mearshart has that power in the striking. Of course, he has the jiu-jitsu and the submission capability, but his takedowns aren't the greatest. And, man, he ends up getting bombed on when he's standing at somebody's range. And Edmund Shabazian is going to have the speed advantage. I'm going to say Edmund by knockout. I'm not saying this confidently, and I'm not betting this fight at all, because we know how an Edmund Shabazian fight can go one of 2 ways, either great for him or it's a disaster for him. And I'm just not comfortable putting my money on that. But I think just in terms of where I think it goes, I think Edmund Shabazian knockout.
Fair enough. Me and D-Rose both on Edmund Shabazian knockout. We'll move on to the next one, being Michael Morales taking on the Haitian sensation, Neil Magny. Michael Morales is undefeated, 16-0. Obviously, out of his last fights, he has won all 5 of them. One on the Contender Series against Nikolai Veretennikov. We saw him fight a few weeks ago against Left Hand to God, Danny Borralho. Knocked out Trevin Giles 2 years ago. Adam Fugit knockout, Max Griffin decision win, and a decision win over Jake Matthews 9 months ago. On the other hand, Neil Magny, 29-11. A win over D-Rod a year and 9 months ago. I don't feel like that long ago. Gilbert Burns lost a year and 7 months ago. Phil Rose split decision win. A year ago, Neil Magny, Ian Machado Gary, decision loss, and Mike Malott win via KO 7 months ago. It kind of exposed Mike Malott. Currently, odds for this fight, plus 550 for Neil Magny, minus 800 is your favorite for Michael Morales. The over-under D-Rose on this one is 2.5. Over 2.5, minus 180. The under 2.5, plus 140. Don't really hate the odds. That means we probably got this, and we do. Michael Morales 3 or decision is minus 190. I don't mind that. I might be betting that, but Michael Morales, 25 years old, 6 foot and a 79-inch reach, while Neil Magny is 37 years old, 6'3" and a 80-inch reach, dude. Neil Magny showed that he's not done in his last fight, dude, but he was getting the shit beat out of him, dude. Like he was on death's door, and dude, if it was a different ref, that fight would have easily been stopped, dude. So because Neil Magny was tough enough to survive, Mike Malott gassed out from beating his ass and then just didn't have anything left. We've seen Michael Morales go all 3 rounds, and we've seen he has a gas tank. So give me Michael Morales to probably win this fight via decision. It's going to be ugly. It might be kind of boring, a lot of cage pushing, shit like that, because that's what Neil Magny fights always turn into. Michael Morales via decisions, minus 130. That is dog shit. So for me, it's a Michael Morales 3 or decision at minus 190. Which way are you going here, D-Rose?
Yeah, those are terrible odds, and the only thing that I'd look to bet on in this fight would be a Michael Morales round 3 or decision, or I'd probably go by decision. I in exposing my hand here, I am going Michael Morales. I do think he gets it done by decision. I think he ends up using his wrestling more in this fight. Neil Magny, we know that he can, he gets matched up against these contenders and can, if you beat him, you're either propelling yourself up, or if you lose to him, you're getting knocked back down and, basically having to start over again, So Neil Magny does have that ability to turn back the clock and pull out one of those good performances. But Michael Morales, pretty good cardio, solid boxer. I think he's got good takedowns as well, and he's a big dude for the division. So I do think, just in terms of how they size up, Michael Morales is going to be shorter, but just look at him, like, just muscle wise, the dude's muscled up, man, and you could tell that he has a tough time making 170. So I think you're going to see a lot of wrestling from Michael Morales, as you said, cage pushing, wrestling. Probably not be the greatest fight in the world, but I think Michael Morales uses his wrestling and gets the job done.
All right, me and D-Rose both on Michael Morales, probably via decision. So we'll move on to the next fight, the Ultimate Fighter finale. We've got Ryan Loder taking on Robert Robzilla Valentine. You guys got to watch out for Robert Valentine. He is an interesting character. Ryan Loder, 6-1 overall. Out of his last 5 fights, he is 4 wins and 1 loss. On the other hand, Robert Valentine, 10-3 overall. Out of his last 5 fights, he is 4 wins and 1 no contest. Illegal elbows. Currently odds for this fight, minus 170 for Robert Valentine, plus 142 for Ryan Loder. Over under on this is at 2.5. The over 2.5 is plus 124. The under 2.5 minus 160. Ryan Loder, 33 years old, 6'2". We don't have a reach for him, while Robert Valentine is 29 years old, 6'2", and a 77-inch reach. Yeah, D-Rose. You heard me talking about this after I believe it was the first episode of Tough, or whenever he just now fought, I was like, hey, this guy, he's kind of going to be a problem. Crushed a dude with an elbow in his first fight. I am talking about Robert Valentine. And then in his last fight, fought this dude, Patty McCory, who seems to be a fighter that's got some solid hands, because he ended up cracking Robert Valentine, kind of wobbled him. Patty McCory went in, Robert Valentine threw him down, and ended up putting him in a arm bar with his legs. It was kind of crazy. So it's kind of like Robert Valentine is just wild man that's going to do anything in any position to win no matter what. So I am going this violent man that is Robert Valentine. Robert Valentine Frey, according to DraftKings. Probably first round knockout. So Robert Valentine, first round knockout for me. How about you, D-Rose?
Yeah.
Remember
boys,
how tough last year played out?
Yeah. Was that
it was Juliana Miller against Brogan Walker, and I was so on Brogan Walker. I was like, dude, she's going to piece Juliana Miller up. Brogan Walker has good striking, and Juliana Miller has no striking. And then in that fight, Juliana Miller just ragdolled Brogan Walker, dude.
Was that the same season with Muhammad Usman and Zach Palga?
Zach
yeah,
Palga,
that definitely, because that was so. That's hilarious, because I came down to the pick champ. And I picked both of them, having no idea who either of them were, because I did not watch The Ultimate Fighter. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going with Usman's brother just because I'm going with him. I watched one episode with Zach Palga, and I watched him, and I was like, dude, he's just not that good to me. I don't know why. And I was like, hey, he's Muhammad Usman's brother. Why not? And that's absolutely hilarious. Not going to go against you on this one. I've seen a lot from Valentine, and I do recognize that the dude's an absolute savage, and I'm not gonna lie, I just don't have enough knowledge to pick against. And I think we're going to end up having our third different pick and possibly the co-main or the main event. So we'll go ahead and ride with that.
Better not. Yep. You better not, D-Rose.
Let's go ahead with Robert Valentine here.
All right, D-Rose and myself both on Robert Valentine. So co-main event time. We have Angie Overkill Hill taking on the baby Sharge, Tabitha Hichi. As Hanato Moicano would say, Tabitha Hichi, the baby Sharge. Anyway, Angie Overkill Hill, 17-13 overall, while the baby shark Tabitha Ricci is 10-2 overall. Overkill Hill, out of her last 5 fights, is 4 wins, 1 loss. Her only loss is to Mackenzie Dern via decision. Has a win over Lupe Godinez, Emily Ducote, Denise Gomes, and Luana Pinheiro by submission in her last fight 3 months ago. On the other hand, Tabitha Ricci, 10-2 overall out of her last 5 fights. She has 4 wins and 1 loss. Win over Poliana Viana, win over Jessica Penne, win over Julian Robertson, split decision loss to Lupe Godinez, and a split decision win against Tisha Pennington or Tisha Torres. Currently, odds for this fight, -110 apiece, D-Rose. Over-under on this is 2.5, -500 for the over, and +340 for the under. Man, I don't know how else to say this besides let's Angie Hill, 39 years old, 5'3", 64.5-inch reach, while Tabitha Ricci, 29 years old, 5'1", 61-inch reach. Dude, this is one where it's like, we know what happens when Angie Hill fights go to decision, man. It's like the judges don't seem to like her going to decision, dude. She's always in a split decision, and even though you think she should win, she ends up fucking losing the fight. So sometimes it just doesn't make a lot of sense. And then on the other hand, we have a fighter that is kind of the opposite way when, she's good and goes to split decision, it's like you don't know if she's going to get it, but then she does end up getting it. So it's like the judges seems to favor Tabitha Ricci over Angie Hill when it comes to going to decisions. And I don't know if it has anything to do with how pleasing they are on the eyes or not. But yeah, dude, I got to go with my gut here and got to go with what I know. I know that Angie Overkill Hill doesn't have the best takedown defense, and Tabitha Ricci, if there's one thing that she's going to do, it's going to be shoot takedowns because her striking is just not that good. So give me Tabitha Ricci to take down Angie all 3 rounds, and we get a Tabitha Ricci via decision. I would like to know if we have a split decision prop here, because I wouldn't mind that.
That would probably be pretty profitable because, but then again, it might not be as great odds because
not yet. No, not yet.
Yeah, I mean they both go to split decision plenty.
Yeah, give me Tabitha Ricci to win this fight via decision, though. How about you, D-Rose?
Yeah, I think tough fight, and I think the betting lines are indicating that, and they're basically a pick 'em right now, and yeah, I think well matched fight. Angie, her striking, she's always had potent striking, just in terms of not power, but just in terms of all of her weapons, using the elbows, knees, and the clinch. Of course, she's got good boxing from range, and for Tabitha Ricci, as you said, she's decent striking, but she's got pretty good grappling for the most part. I'm just going to say it. I'm going Overkill Hill here. I think that Angela Hill, as you said, her takedown defense isn't the greatest, but I think in her last couple of fights against Denise Gomes, against Luana Pinheiro, she was able to show off her takedown defense, and was even able to show off that because I believe it was a guillotine that she hit Luana Pinheiro with, wasn't it?
Mounted guillotine, but Luana Pinheiro, dude, she's ass. She's ass.
Sorry. Yeah, no. Admittedly, she is, but I remember she went to shoot in for that takedown, and Angela Hill kind of snatched that like you said, that guillotine up. She kind of fell into mount with it, but was able to hold that position and get it done. Angela Hill is she aging and is she slower? Yes, but I think her IQ has came such a long way because she's gotten to more of the analyst side of the game, and I think that's actually helped her evolve her game as she's went forward as well. So, yeah, I think Tabitha Ricci not having the striking, but only having really good takedowns. I think you get in that type of clinch type fight with Angela Hill. That's a bad fight to get into with Angela Hill there. So, yeah, I'm going Angela Hill here to get it done by decision.
All right, me and you split on this one. Yeah, this is probably going to be my podcast play of the week. Going to be Tabitha Ricci, and yeah, probably going to be dropping a fifth of my DraftKings account on it just to see what happens. I am confident Tabitha Ricci. I am confident Tabitha Ricci gets this done, though. I really am. So we'll move on to the main event of the evening. If y'all haven't already, please do us a favor. Hit that thumbs up button for you boys, if you don't mind. Yeah, let's get into it. We've got Caio, the natural Bahio, taking on the Killer Gorilla, Jared Cannonier. Jared Cannonier is 17-6. I think that was it. 17-7 overall after his last fight. That's what stopped, a little prematurely by Jason Herzog, but yeah, we'll get into it. 17-7 overall out of his last 5 fights, 3 wins, 2 losses. Win over Derek Brunson, lost to Izzy, win over Sean Strickland, kinda controversial, win over Marvin Vittori, and a butthole puckerer for D Rose, and then a Nasruddin Imavov knockout on the feet, standing knockout 2 months ago. On the other hand, Caio Bahio, 16-1 overall. The natural has won all 5 of his last 5 fights. Armin Petrosian, Makhmud Muradov, Mikhail Orshaychuk, Abu Smagomedov, and Paul Craig slowly increasing in competition, level of competition along the way. Currently, odds for this fight, Jared Cannonier plus 200, the underdog. Kyle Bahayo minus 245, your favorite. Last week, D Rose, the odds were the exact opposite, like literally the exact opposite. It was minus 245, the favorite, Jared Cannonier, and Kyle Bahayo was the dog. And then the Carlos Prates fight happened, and then a lot of bets came in on Kyle Bahayo. Makes sense. Yeah, Jared Cannonier, 40 years old, 5'11", 77.5-inch reach, while Kyle Bahayo, 31 years old, 6'1", and a 75-inch reach. Yeah, and you see this right here? The gym, Fighting Nerds. And not only, I believe he's the leader of the Fighting Nerds. He was the first one in the UFC from the Fighting Nerds, and this gym right now, D Rose, is kind of just on a tear, dude. Every one of their fighters are just winning their fighters. They have great game plans, dude. And if there's one thing that Jared Cannonier does, dude, it is give up his back. And Kyle Bahayo jumps on backs, dude. Yeah, something tells me Kyle Bahayo is going to choke out Jared Cannonier in the main event this weekend, dude. I think right now, like at middleweight, it's Kyle Bahayo and Brennan Allen probably have the best back takes to rear naked chokes, dude. And I wouldn't mind seeing that fight in the future. Yeah, give me Kyle Bahayo to win this fight. Let's say second round rear naked choke. Which way you going here, man?
Yeah, I think this is it's a quick turnaround for Jared Cannonier, man. I think, coming off the Imhoff fight, was it a questionable stoppage? Yes, I think we all agreed with that, but that doesn't make it any more or less, kind of dangerous to turn around as quick as he is. Even though that fight was stopped early, he took some damage in that fight, and Nasruddin, did tag him up for a good bit of there. I'm gonna get you, Sugar Ray. I'm gonna get you, man. We good, bro. We good. How is it me that ends up getting the false sleep thing? That's crazy. But no, I think again, quick turnaround for Jared Cannonier. Kyle Bahayo, yes, he had to fight against Paul Craig in May, but took essentially no damage. Hometown fight and came away with a spectacular knockout. These dudes. It's crazy. But let's go Kyle Bahayo here. I don't think that he finishes Jared Cannonier. I think Jared Cannonier, if he finishes Jared Cannonier, I say he doesn't submit Jared Cannonier, but I think he actually knocks out Jared Cannonier because Jared Cannonier can get hit. But he actually does have very good takedown defense. For the most part, he's super strong. And he did give up his back a couple of times against Nasruddin, but I think his IQ, his way to fight hands, just his pure strength is going to be able to will him back to his feet. But Jared Cannonier can get hit a lot, man. Especially if you go back to that Vettori fight when he kept switching back and forth to southpaw. Every time he switched to southpaw, Vettori cracked him and landed a pretty big shot. And then Jared Cannonier had to switch back to orthodox in order to have more success. So I do think that Kyle Bahayo can land a big shot and finish him, but I'm going to go Kyle Bahayo by decision.
All right, so me and D Rose in the main event, both on the natural, Kyle Bahayo to unfortunately defeat the killer gorilla, Jared Cannonier. I love doing that. So fun. So that being said, our pick champ is on the line for this week. Will be only 3 different fights. We do have Slavaklaus Vyacheslav Barshov taking on James Goku Yantop, where I'm on Slavaklaus. D Rose is on Goku. We got Francis Fire Marshall taking on Dennis Bazooka, where I'm on Francis Fire Marshall. D Rose on Dennis Bazooka. And our third and final different fight is Tabitha Ricci versus Angie Hill, where I am on Tabitha Baby Shark Ricci and D Rose on Angie Overkill Hill. Did I fuck it up? Are you laughing?
No, I just keep laughing at I just keep laughing at the comments down there. That's messed up.
So with that being said, after I clean sweep D Rose this week, where I get all 3 right and he gets 0 right, D Rose will be eating 3 beans on next week's episode right here on the podcast.
We keeping the belt over here, baby.
Nah, dude, you're going down this week. I think I got I got 3 favorites. The last one, she's a favorite. She's gonna win. All right. So with that being said, my podcast play of the week, this week is Baby Shark, Tabitha Ricci. I think she gets it done, and I do this every week. I know D Rose ain't gonna do it this week because he's going the other way. So we might be safe this week if you're betting it with me, because every time this fucking guy bets it, we ain't winning it. So right now,
far away from it. Far away.
So right now, D Rose, I'm going to do it. Do I put 50 or 100 on Tabitha Ricci straight up? 50 or 100?
Don't ask me, because I ain't even betting her. I'm not betting her. That's more of a question for the chat.
How confident are you in Angie Hill?
I feel pretty good about Angie Hill. I got her in a parlay.
Okay, how much is your parlay to win?
It's like $10 to win like 80. It's like her, Kyle Bahayo. Who else did I put in there? I think I put I had to go back and look at the rest of it, but it's like $10 to win 80 because I had that. It was like a stack boost for like every leg I put on there was like an extra 10% boost or something.
I got a feeling.
So it was like a 4 leg with like a 40% boost.
Shit
Hey, you damn right, Dave. You damn right.
Here we go. Gonna put 50 on it. There we go. There it's in. That's in. 50 to win 95-45. That's my podcast play of the week. Tabitha Ricci. Just the money line. Ain't nothing crazy because Tabitha Ricci by decisions plus 130. Like, I'll pass. I'll pass. What was the other one that I didn't mind? Michael Morales, 3 or decision.
3 or decision. What was it? Minus 190.
Let's see. What's Michael Morales over 1.5 is minus 330. That's terrible. I'm not betting that. Michael Morales, 3 or decision.
That's maybe a parlay piece, but
Michael Morales.
Honestly, anything you bet with him would have to be a parlay piece because everything's going to be minus.
Dude, I'm not
except
betting
for the decision.
I'm not betting 50 to win 76. Nah, dude.
Because you said him by decision is minus 130.
Minus 130. Him 3 or decision minus 190. Yeah, dude.
That's not terrible.
I can only parlay that. I can't bet that straight though. I can't bet that straight. It's too far apart. I think the farthest I'm gonna bet on a straight bet is probably like minus 130 is as far as I'm getting away, where it's like, okay, I can kind of stomach it. It's like if you bet like 100, you win back like 170, something like that. So kind of worth it. So yeah, that's my podcast play of the week. Good luck to everyone that takes the shot with me. Tabitha Ricci money line minus 110. It's even money. 50 to win 97. We got Antoine saying great pod, guys. Have a great night. I appreciate it, Antoine. Thanks for stopping by here tonight, brother. Truly do appreciate it. Anything before we get out of here, D Rose, or are you ready to get out of here, my guy? I know you're falling asleep. The chat's calling you out on it this time.
No, yeah. No, I gotta go get some Z's, man. According to the chat here. So, but nah, man, good podcast today. And again, we're gonna keep this bad boy over here for another week.
It's gone this week, Lou. Gone. Shine it up real nice for me. Make sure it's real shined up.
Staying over here with me the following week. So we'll
make sure there's no fucking sticky fingerprints on it from your kids when you give it back to me next week.
No, hell no. It's gonna have popsicle juice that's all dried up and sticky on there and all that shit.
At least you acknowledging that you're giving that shit back to me. And with that being said, that's going to be all from us right here over on the Golden Octagon MMA Podcast tonight. My name is Matt. D Rose is on that cyber screen. I'll be here Friday night for Change of Chatter, give you my last picks and bets that I have on this UFC fight card we had this weekend. Not the best card, but I'm going to give you what I can, and I'm going to be betting my money on it. So I'll let you guys see what I'm going to be betting on Friday. So with that being said, we appreciate all of you guys for stopping by and hanging out with us here tonight. Hit that thumbs up button for your boys if y'all haven't already. And yeah, with that being said, at the end of the day, it's a fist fight and anything can happen. So if you're betting on these fights this weekend, please make sure that, you can afford to lose said money because, me and D-Rose lose money every single week looking and passing out. Me and D-Rose lose money every single week, and we feel dumb about it. You have to face yourself in the mirror if you bet on a dumb fight, like last week, Josh Coolabout. Not our fault that he lost, but it is what it is. That being said, my name is Matt. D-Rose over there. We'll catch you guys. I'll catch you Friday. D-Rose, I'll catch you next week here on the podcast. With that being said, y'all be safe. Y'all have a good week. I will see y'all Friday. Peace.
Peace.